All right. Reminder just to use the hand raise function and we can get started with questions for Coach Heacock. All right, Randy, we'll start with you.
I had to figure out how to unmute. I haven't Zoomed for a long time. John, are games like this more about Iowa State practicing for Iowa State, or Iowa State scheming, figuring out how to beat an opponent? Is it more about getting yourselves better, or how much do you look at the opponent? I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
We've looked at them a lot, Randy. I mean, I think there comes a point in time, but I still think every day you're working fundamental periods, and I don't think that ever stops all the way till the end of the season. We've spent a lot of time on this team to give our guys the best opportunities to try to have success. They got a lot of things going on offense, and so it forces us to do a lot of homework, our players a lot of homework. So we've spent a lot of time, summer breakdowns, summer studies, and, obviously then, starting since last week. So a little bit of both.
Thank you.
Next question. Randy, we'll go with you again.
What does Southeast Missouri do well on offense, John?
Well, I really think they got a great scheme, Randy. We break down a lot of teams that we play. I think their coaching staff does a great job, first and foremost. They've got talented people. Running back is very, very talented. He's a hard out. And, you see that on film immediately. A lot of starters back, a lot of veterans. They've got some transfer wide receivers that, we've tried to study a little bit on YouTube and any film that we can find those guys. I think a veteran offensive line. So I think that's I think their scheme fits exactly who they are. Got a transfer quarterback. We've tried to study him on some YouTube videos that we found, some of those kind of things. So I think their scheme is very good. I think they make you work on defense. They make you be honest. They run the quarterback. They have option game. They throw it down the field. They take shots. Pin and pull game, zone schemes, split zone schemes. They do a lot of things, and I think they do a great job of it. So, I think their scheme's really good, and I think they've got some veteran people that are very talented as well.
Thanks, John.
Jared, we'll go with you next.
Hey, Coach. You mentioned the running back. What have you seen from him on film that really jumps out to you? What does he bring to the table for that?
He's a hard tackle, he's a hard out, you're going to have to get 1 or 2 or 3, 4 guys there to tackle him. Runs the football, has broken 60-yarders, you see that on film. He can take it the distance. I think, and I think he's a very talented back. I think he's patient. Again, I think their scheme fits who he is. And, they run some of the zone stuff and some of the pin and pull that takes a lot of patience from a tailback. And I think he shows great patience. And that's what makes him, that's what's allowed them to, shoot. I think they're scoring 30 points a game. So, they do a great job with it.
Andrew Harrington.
The excitement kind of builds up for the season opener. How does that excitement kind of affect your defense in the opener?
Well, I think you love the emotion of it. It's what the game is. The game is full of emotion. We've got to do a great job of handling the emotion. We have newcomers, a lot of them, majority of our team, specifically defense. And so we'll have to handle that. But football is an emotional game. I like emotion. I think emotion's good. I think you have to play defense with emotion. It also has to be controlled. And I think our guys, some of them, it's going to be the first time they've even run on the field. So, I don't know. I'm not afraid of excitement. I think it's great. I think you have to play this game with emotion. We've got to do a great job, schematically of allowing them to play with emotion. And I think that's, part of the coach's job in a game like this.
Rob, you're next.
Thanks. Hi, John.
Rob.
I wondered, what has impressed you about Coach, what is it, Tuke, for short there? I mean, obviously, he was at Toledo for a time with Coach Campbell. But you talked about scheme, but does it just seem like he's building a really quality FCS program?
Yeah, he does. And I know our coaches, I think took Coach Tuke's job when he left to become the head coach. So that was how I ended up at Toledo. And I don't know, I've met him a couple times. I just know that the guys on staff have spoken highly. Coach Campbell thinks the world of him. I think in the coaching world, I think that's really important when you leave a place. And I think he was there just a few years, but when you leave a place and everybody speaks so highly of you when you're gone, I think that says a lot about him. And like I said, Coach Campbell raves about him, kind of person he is, coach, recruiter, all of those things. So I think they're doing a great job. Just from watching the videotape, I've said it all week long since we've watched them. I said it in the summer. They are well coached. They make you play defense. They make you defend the field. They make you defend formations, and I give them, a lot of credit. Their kids play hard. You don't see very many penalties. That's all to me a credit to the head coach and the coaching staff.
Thanks, John.
Yes, sir.
And Randy, up to you.
John, what did you yourself and Tyson and Tom Wilson at Dowling do to help get Jake Hummel onto a 53-man NFL roster?
Oh man, I think just let him be who he was. I would say, I think there's been a lot of hours spent. I'm sure Tom, in the high school weight room and coaching, and I know Tyson in a position room. I don't know that I had a huge part of it other than, allowing him to be who he is. I think, the credit goes to Jake for taking the coaching that he was given. And I think that's, I don't think that's always the case. And I give him a lot of credit. That's always something he wanted to do. He was a blue collar guy, Randy. He was a work hard guy. He never took plays off, never missed games, never, he started out as a special teams guy here, and that takes a lot of character, and then worked himself into being the starting linebacker. And man, I couldn't be happier for a guy. I was texting with one of the scouts, like, that's to me what it's about. A guy that set his goals, and he has some, let's be honest, he's talented, he's gifted, God gave him some abilities that other folks don't have. He can run really fast. He's really physically tough. He's strong. So he has some gifts, but man, has he surely took advantage of every single coaching opportunity, whether it be in the weight room, whether it be in nutrition, academics, Coach Veit, Coach Wilson, our defensive scheme, whatever it was, man, he took it all and he ran with it. So the credit goes to him. And I'm encouraged that we were all, part of his story, because man, it's awesome. It's awesome.
Thank you.
All right, Coach, that's it for today. Thanks for coming on.
Appreciate y'all. Have a good week.
Oh, to hit X turn, though it doesn't automatically. So maybe I'll have to do it. Coach, we'll open it up for questions right away.
We're unmuted, Andy.
Yep, you're good. Just a reminder to use the hand raise function for questions. Rob, we'll go with you first.
Hi, Tom.
Hey, how you doing?
Great, thanks. Great. I know you've been asked a million times questions about Hunter Deckers, but please indulge me for one more. Is he a guy that he's obviously always had high-end talent. He's a 4-star recruit, but a guy who thrives when he encounters people who doubt him?
Man, I don't know, to be honest with you. I think Hunter right now is going through, he's trying to prepare for his first collegiate start, and I think that's a challenge in its own. And I've talked to him about that's about all the time that we have to consider anything else really right now, is that, man, he has to do everything in his power to, study and put himself in the best position to be successful, because it's your first start, after taking over, for a guy that had played quarterback for a long time here, and really has been waiting his opportunity. I think there's a lot that goes with it. And, I think for him right now, his focus is on, man, how do I prepare myself the best throughout this week? And then, try to have my best, most efficient game, going forward right now. But with that being said, I think Hunter's a guy that I would say he likes competition. And probably be, to answer your question, I think he's always been a competitive guy, obviously a multiple sport athlete, and just a competitive guy in general, likes to, you see him playing pool or whatever. He's just a competitive guy.
Thank you, Tom.
Jared?
Hey, Coach. I'm curious what you see from Southeast Missouri on defense when you watch them on film.
Yeah, very multiple. I think if you look at them throughout, time, they play a variety of fronts. They play really a variety of coverages, and they have a lot of mix-ups, I think, change-ups within the coverages, in terms of, different ways to play the same base structure of defense. So they're very multiple in what they do. They've got a very good blitz package. And I think probably, the athleticism in general, I think, there's some guys that can really, really run on the field. And I also feel like they play really, really hard. Coach Duke was with us at Toledo for a time, and I know that's kind of the expectation that he's always had in terms of defensive football, is guys playing really hard, running to the football. And I think that certainly jumps off the videotape.
Any other questions for Coach?
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks for coming on.